In this video, you are gonna building your first AI agent under 15 minutes in Python and LangGraph. No worries if you are new to the LangGraph. I will guide you like how to cover the LangGraph basics in a minimal time. Meanwhile, you should have a good understanding of the Python as a prerequisite. So I will drop the links of both LangGraph and Python in the below, so you can go and watch it in a fastest way so that you can get started with the AI agent. So today I am going to solve this problem using the AI agent. Well, the problem is basic. Like I learned many concepts like AI concepts and many things, and keep some notes of them. And the notes will be keep getting stacked day by day. So and it's difficult to search sometimes. So instead of manually searching, what I thought is let's build a simple AI assistant. It will be very minimal. Like it will be like what are the questions I will be asking regarding my notes. It will summarize and it will answer my questions. So here is what this AI agent would look like. It's a simple personal learning assistant, a command line interface where we can execute in the terminal, I mean. So yeah, this is what basically you are the user who will be asking the questions, and the model will use the tools. Basically, yeah, it will use your notes to get the answers, and what are the questions you will be asking to the model, it will be replying back using the notes as a tool. So you can search in a fastest way, you can memorize, and you can even get answers quickly, you can revise quickly. So it will be very helpful assistant, and it will be a very hands-on experience like how we can actually build a basic model from this. So yeah, let's get started into the coding. So before getting into the code, you need to make some files. I have created a env file, so you should also create this env file and put your Gemini API key here. And you can get the Gemini API key by going into the AI studio of the Google. So you can visit the AI studio. So once you visit the AI studio in the Google, so you can go to the API keys and you can create a new API key. I will leave up to you. So once the API key is done, and then we'll be creating a main.py file inside the folder. And yeah, you need to go into the terminal, and then you need to go inside this learning assistant. I have already went here, so make sure you go. Then we'll be creating a Python virtual environment. Make sure you have a stable version of the Python. I'm using Python 3.12. So then we'll be creating a VNV. So once you have created the virtual environment, there are some libraries which are need to be installed, such as no, before that you need to activate your virtual environment. So once your virtual environment is set up, then you need to install some libraries such as LangChain, LangGraph. No worries, there are no prerequisites of LangChain here because that's very minimal code we'll be using regarding LangChain. Only LangGraph will be using heavily. And then you need to install .env and rich. I think these are the libraries you are going to. And one more is Google. I missed it, right? Google Gemini models, right? We need to install LangChain Google Gemini. Google Gen AI. So yeah, once these libraries are installed, now we can get started. So I'll be using my backup code here. I have also made backup code so that I can reduce my time here writing the code. I will be explaining each and every part, no worries. So at first we'll be importing few of the tools, such as before that you need to create a folder structure. Here I will be guiding, like we'll be using prompts to basically upload system prompts, and then we'll be creating tools, right? Notes, we need to add that here. And after that we'll be creating notes.py to add your notes. Notes is simple, a list of points, because we'll write in a points, right? I have a notes. Basically today I learned few things like this. I'll be using this line as a notes here. So inside this you can create a list, and inside this I think you can add this. So I think I have already done it, so I'll be directly going into there. Yeah, so once you did this, you can define your tool. So to define the tool, so I'll be explaining this code. So here you need to if the virtual environment is not activated, because this is showing that the library cannot be found, you can press Command Shift B and select the interpreter. Now it is went, you can see here. So yeah, so we'll be importing the tool function from the LangChain and our nodes, and we'll be declaring this one decorator here. What this does means it will pass all the strings and it will send to the AI model. We'll be discussing regarding that. Just you can think it as a decorator here. Make sure you have studied the decorator in the Python. And then we'll be defining the search nodes, where we'll be sending the query as an input parameter. Then a print statement to just get notified whether the tool is being called or not for our reference. Then what are the results we'll be getting, right? Fetching right from the tool, we'll be appending here, and we'll be be transforming the query and the nodes to the lowercase so that case sensitive things will be handled properly. And then what are the nodes are there, we'll iterate over the nodes, and then what we will do, we'll see just if this query is present inside this node any line. If it is, then we'll add the nodes into the results. Then we will, if there is no results, then definitely we'll say that there is no matching found. If the results are there, then we will convert this list into a string separated by lines, then we will return this. This is simple tool. We are basically, we can make it more advanced using rack systems, but currently it's a basic agent, right? So to get some idea, we can do like this. And the other is system prompt. I have a system prompt too. So this is the system prompt. So system prompt is simple. Basically, I'm telling you are my personal assistants, you help me to recall the concept from my notes, and you can always search the notes first when the user asks about technical details or concepts definitions. Use the information from the notes, and if additional context is required, to answer clearly. And also use your knowledge, because if the notes information is not sufficient, it will use its additional context. And if the notes do not contain the relevant information, say no honestly. It should say like your notes the notes doesn't contain the relevant information, so I provided the answer from my knowledge. So this is what a simple system prompt looks like. Then once you have set up the system prompt, then you can go to the main file. I guess now we are ready to import few things. We'll go to the main.py. I think we can import these tools. And basically, I'm importing the operating system here and tool search nodes from the tools. And these are basic imports. I think you know this, right? .env to load the env variable, system prompts, and LangChain Google Gemini. Then I will be loading some deck, like these are the things which are used to print in the terminal, some external libraries. And these are the langgraph things, like for example tool node, tool condition. I will be explaining this when I writing the code. So these are some imports. Okay, you need to import it. And then we'll be importing from the LangChain. See, this is the only things we'll be importing: human message and system message. Other than that, we'll not be importing anything. And we'll load all the env, whatever the env is present in this file. And then we'll be initializing the console object from the console class, because we will use this to write the responses into the here terminal. So then we will get the Gemini API key as we discussed from the environment variable. Then we will initialize the model. So basically, this is a Google generative AI model. So I'm telling that if the model fails to respond, then try 2 more times. And temperature is a randomness, like how crazy response the model can give here. And configuring the API key, and the model I will be using is Gemini 2.5 Flash. You can use any models as per your requirement. You can go and see the developer documents of the Google to check what models are available. And then I will be initializing the tools array. See here, you can add many tools in the list of arrays. Currently I'm adding only one search nodes tool from here. And then we need to bind the tools. That means we need to connect the tools to the LLM, right? Because it should know like what are the tools available. So we connected it using this syntax. And then we'll declare a function called assistant here. So inside this, it will take a state. So if you have some basic idea of the LangGraph, message state is nothing but basically like we will interact using the state, like what are the new messages will be appearing, right? Like AI messages, human messages, tool messages, everything will be under this state. State is something, you can think it as an array of messages, where here human message, AI message, tool message, everything will be appending, so that it will be unified at one place. So once we do that, it's like a state, and this we will be importing from here only. You can see this is provided by the LangGraph itself. And then we will be invoking the model of this messages state. See, you have a messages, like how the exactly state will look like. It will look like something, an object messages, and inside this, whatever I told, right, this will be appear something like this. And we will be sending the what are the last message will be there, right? That will be our prompt, right? What are the user query and all that we'll be invoking with the AI model. Then we'll get the response from the AI model and we will return it. That's it. From here, I think we are returning the state only. You can see that it's a new state. And what are the response we'll be sending right here? Internally, it will append. Basically, it will not overwrite. It will append. Like if there is already some message, it will append. So that is taken care by LangGraph. That is no worries for that. Okay. So once this is done, we'll be initializing the tool node. For now, you don't need to worry about tool node. I'll be explaining in further lines of code. So now we need to build the LangGraph. So if you have basic idea how LangGraph works, it's a basically graph based, where nodes are the you can think it as a tools, functions, all the things which can be executed, which can be invoked. So edges are the connections, like how it will interact. It's a kind of workflow, like after one process we'll go into the another process. So as I shown you in the diagram, right, in this one architecture diagram, and this one. So after this is going to serve as edge, and this is the node. These are the nodes and these are the edges which will connect. Like after user prompt, we will proceed with the AI model. After it can use it or it cannot use it, it depends on the query, and once after this we'll return this one's response into the user. That's how it works. What texts and edges will tell in the terms of graph, and then we'll return back here. And this is basically we need to, whatever the graph is there, right, we need to build the graph. That's why I'm using builder, and this is a syntax from the LangGraph itself as we imported here, right? So it is a syntax to define the graph. Whatever the state is there, you need to pass that state and you need to define as a state graph. Once this is done, you need to add the nodes. I talked about you nodes just now. Like nodes are nothing but it's like invocables or callables. So I am telling the name as assistant and I'm connecting the node as this function. It is a callable, and this is also a callable. Basically what this does means, what are the tools are present here, right? It will execute the tools, but then what is the use of connecting this, you can ask. Basically LLM can only say that use this tool to get the answer. It will not execute it, but tool node is the one which will be executing this. So tool node is responsible to execute and return the answer to the model. Model will say I want this answer in the message. Tool node will take it up and it will get the answer. It will return to the assistant. That's how it works. That's why we need to connect a tool node also, and for that we will name it as a tools, and we'll connect a tool node here. And once that is done, we need to add the edges. I discussed about edges, just it's like arrow mark. You can think it as arrow mark. In technical terms, we'll say it as a connection between the many nodes or two nodes. We'll add the edge. Basically you can think it as a starting point. From start we'll start from the assistant. As you see in here, we'll start from the assistant here. I will tell you like when this user is the start point and assistant is the next connection, right? So similarly like this, you can think it as a start is a user and the assistant is a connection. Like this, we'll start from here, and then we'll add a conditional edge, and conditional edge is nothing but this is the one. So it can use the node, this one tool node, or it cannot use the node, because depends on the query, right? If the query requires the tool, it will use, or else it will directly send the response. If I say hi, it doesn't require tool, it will send the response directly. And this tool condition will handle that if else condition, like whether we need to call the tool based on the AI response or we not need to call. Basically the AI will just send a message inside the state. Basically for example, this is the state, right? So suppose this is a AI message, the tool will see this AI message. It tells that this required tool, that means it will execute it and it will return the answer. If not, it will directly return the response. And last edge will be we need to connect the tool to the assistant, right? That we first we connected this to here, and then we need to connect this also to here. That is like from the tools, what are the response we will be getting the tools, right? After execution of the tool, we need to send back the answer to the assistant, right? That is the reason we need to add this one. So once this is done, we need to compile the graph. Compile is like we are making it ready. You can think it as a making it ready. And once this is done, now the graph is also ready. Now it's time to execute the graph. So for that I will be defining this a chat loop function. Really what this chat loop does means, it will run a loop forever and it will take the user input from the terminal, and if the user types exit, it will exit from this whatever the agent, or else I'm creating a result object here. What it does means, it will invoke the graph. What are the graph we compiled, right? It will invoke, and the initial state we need to define it. This is the initial state because we need to pass the state here, if you remember in the graph. So we will be passing this initial state here, and what this state contains, as I said, this will contain this messages, right? I will append the messages here. I will put the messages here, and inside that we will be keeping system messages the first, because this is the one we are defining the role of this AI agent, and then after that we will be inputting the human message. Human message is nothing but what are the user as that one, right? And once this is done, we will get the result. What are the AI response is done. This is the AI response, nothing but we are accessing this list. Whatever this list is there, right? We are accessing that, and we are going to the last one, because as I said, what are the new messages will be coming, right? It will be appending here, so we need the latest one, right? We don't need the first one, so that's why we are accessing the latest one by -1 in the Python syntax. And this is a formatter. Basically this is only required for Gemini models as far I seen. What happens means, in the Gemini models, response will not be a directly string. It will be sometimes object, it will be sometimes list. So this is what I'm doing means, I'm creating a variable called response. It's a final response, and I'm checking that if this instance is nothing but whether I'm checking whether this is an object of this class or not. So that is the Python fundamentals. So I'm checking whether the content, whether the given by response is string. If it is string, then it is fine. If it is not string, if it is a list, means we'll get something like this. For example, list of objects, you can think something like this. You see here, sometimes we'll get the meta. We don't need the meta, we only need the text content, right? So that's why what I'm doing means, I'm joining all the objects and I am getting the object text. Like if if and only if this object type is text. You can see here, if instance of it is a that means if this is a dictionary, and inside that if the type is text, whatever the type is there, if it is text, then only I'm getting that and I'm appending that block of text here in the response. And the final, if it is not even a string, if it is not even a list, then that is, then that is definitely an object. We are just typecasting the object for the safety to the string, and then we are finally printing the final answer. I told, right, we will use console.print here. It will make a better console in the terminal. And we are converting the response into the markdown, because markdown is preferably generally more formatted in the for the AI responses. Yeah, this is the simple agent. And now we completed your simple agent in under 15 minutes, I guess. How much minutes? So we completed this under 17 minutes. So let's test it whether it works or not. So first we need to go and we need to execute this one using main.py. So now once the assistant, it will load. Yeah, one more thing, we not called this chat loop only, right? So we need to execute it as a script here. So make sure you know Python scripts. So what we will do, if it's a main, then we'll be executing this chat loop, so that our chat loop will run, right? So now we can ask any questions. For example, hi. So the model says, hello, how can I help you today? So what can you do for me? So it tells, I can help you recall the concepts from your personal learning notes, blah blah blah. Yeah, let's ask some questions regarding the notes. So notes, what can we ask is, we can ask what is lang graph, right? What is lang graph? So see, it is already using the tool. You can see like search notes tool is being called with the query langgraph. Now you can see langgraph is a library that uses nodes and edges, as I explained, right? I think I have wrote that only. You can see here. So also it combined its knowledge also. You can see this is not sufficient. It explained more using its knowledge. This is good, right? It's like you will get more clearance on this. So we can ask even out of bound questions, like for example, in this I not talked about lang chain concept, right? Let's ask what is lang chain. It's calling the tool. Now it doesn't have the context. You can see here, as we said in the system prompt, it is telling like I couldn't find any information about the lang chain, but it is using its own brain and telling these things. It is good, right? And these are the exact things we required regarding the lang chain. So this is a simple agent we can build under, I guess, 18 minutes we took. So this is how you can also build your simple agents. In the further videos we'll be doing more complex agents. We'll do everything like how in the production AI agents will work. We will level up one by one, right? So thank you for watching. If you found this interesting, do subscribe and like it. Thank you.